community type project, but also they're not really helping much. They want them to go out and figure out how hard, different projects are, how much there's government you involved when you do different things. So. Right. Yeah. Sure. But he may show up and ask some questions, and that's what he's after. And if there's nothing that makes sense, then he'll go build his tree house on his property and call it a tree. So. Okay. Appreciate you. Yep. I would go sign this. Good to see you. You too.
All right.
No. Santos needs to step out. Thank goodness for the rain. Yes. Yeah. Hi.
It's great today. Get all the dogs. It's quite a, it's a 22-foot radius. So trying to carry it through a ski area, so it's hard to get inside. I never did get into my oldest son. He maintained all his games by the operator started running a snow channel, and two of them. It's pretty
So did the layout of the moving of the pictures confusing the owl? Did that solve the problem? Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call for the record. Mayor Lindsay.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Here.
Councilor Pop.
Here.
Councilor Weeks.
Here.
And Councilor Curry.
Here.
We have a quorum. You may proceed.
This time I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda with the exception of item D under new business.
Make a motion to approve the agenda, delaying item D.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time I'd ask for a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this evening we have one person signed up to speak, and that would be Mr. Greg Battershell.
Good evening, council, clerk, everybody else that I'm not going to spend a lot of time because they're already here. But I'm here to say I will be willing to volunteer to help out on your water system problem if there was any warranty work done or any inspector that came in that falsely found out anything with the water system. I've already talked to enough people that found out that I was right about 8 years ago when I was asked by a director about a problem, after a new pump was put in. And you've had a whole lot of problems following that because it was the wrong equipment at the time. I have another problem. I have no problem helping out with Angel Fire for a problem over there at Crestview Condos too, where I was staying at until I got evicted for causing too much problem because there was a transmitter bug in the condo unit I was in. And I have no problem testifying against Tanner Watkinson for his actions since they're spread up to Pueblo, Colorado right now. So keep that in mind. So I have no problems with any testifying to help out on the benefit of Angel Fire or Angel Fire Resort. How's that? Thank you very much.
Any proclamations by the council?
Mr. Mayor, I have two committees. The PID met on May 14th, and they're continuing to work on their budget for this year. The South Central Colfax County Special Hospital Board met twice, April 27 and May 14th. They're working on their fiscal year 27 budget. This year's budget's gonna be tight. There may be some layoffs and some open positions that aren't filled. Part of the reason for this is Medicare sets the amount of reimbursements, and most other insurance follow Medicare's lead, and Medicare does not allow the provider to bill patients for the difference. Each dollar of mill levy paid by property owners is now increased to 20% for the Moreno Valley Clinic, 20% for Moreno Valley Urgent Care, and 20% for the Cimarron Healthcare Clinic, which falls under the Moreno Valley Clinic. The remaining 40% goes to the long-term care facility in Springer and to the lab also located in Springer, which serves district-wide. Overall income is expected to increase after the new long-term care center opens in October, partially because it'll have more beds and it contains some private rooms which will bill at a higher rate. The Moreno Valley Clinic is reviewing options to build a new clinic in Angel Fire. This clinic would be funded from outside sources, not operating income.
Thank you for the update, Counselor. Moving on, we have the presentation of the run of the wall certificates from Counselor Howe.
As most all of you know, Run for the Wall went through here. Central route on May 15th, which would have been a week ago Friday. They had a dinner that night in Eagle Nest, and they made some presentations of appreciation for different organizations and people located here in Angel Fire. So first I would like Ernie from the memorial to come up, please, sir. There we go.
Sorry.
Certificate of appreciation, Run for the Wall. We ride for those who can't. Run for the Wall, number 36, May 2026. Presented to Vietnam Veterans Memorial, Angel Fire, New Mexico. Thank you for your support. Jim McDonough, Central Route Coordinator. Thank you. Next, I would ask the Chamber of Commerce Board President to come up. Certificate of Appreciation, Run for the Wall, We Ride for Those Who Can't. Run for the Wall, number 36, May 2026. Presented to Chamber of Commerce, Village of Angel Fire, New Mexico. Thank you for your support. Jim McDonough, Central Route Coordinator. Mr. Mayor, could you come around, please? Certificate of Appreciation, Run for the Wall, We Ride for Those Who Can't. Run for the Wall, number 36, May 2026. Presented to B.J. Lindsay, Mayor, Village of Angel Fire, New Mexico. Thank you for your support. Jim McDonough, Central Route Coordinator. Next, Christian Whitesell. Certificate of Appreciation, Run for the Wall, We Ride for Those Who Can't. Run for the Wall, number 36, May 2026. Presented to Christian Whitesell, Angel Fire Resort. Thank you for your support. Jim McDonough, Central Route Coordinator. Christian, they're very appreciative of what you did for them.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have this plaque. Run for the Wall, 36th Annual Run. Presented to Angel Fire Resort, Angel Fire, New Mexico. In grateful appreciation for the support shown to the Central Route Run for the Wall, number 36, Board of Directors and Riders of Run for the Wall.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Councilor Allen. Just thank you for everything that you do and continue to do for the veterans and all the
Thank you so
efforts
much.
in this community. Okay, moving on to director's reports. First up this evening, we have our Fire Chief, Jason Vance.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Manager Weir, Clerk Strickland. I'd first like to say, as a veteran of the U.S. Army, being an Army medic for 4 years, I really appreciated everything that everybody did this weekend. Everything went really well and very well done. So thank you for continuing to support veterans. I have, my last report was given on March 9th, so I have quite a bit of information to cover. If I go too fast, just jump in and stop me if at any point you have any questions. Our wildfire program has had an active start to the fire season. We deployed on the 352 fire, the Smith fire, the 6 Mile fire, and most recently on the Black Mesa Trail fire near Clayton, New Mexico. Our crews are returning back this week and will be pre-positioned in the Cimarron district. And we've gone on multiple pre-position assignments since then. These deployments continue to provide a valuable experience for our firefighters, and they bring that experience back to the Village of Angel Fire. Our new Rebel brush truck was delivered in early May and is now being prepared for service. On May 8th, we held a push-in ceremony and swore in 6 new members of the fire department. They were Andrew Archibek for fuels management, firefighter EMT Intermediate Tucker Hairston, who also, we just found out today, passed his inspector's certification. So now we have 2 bona fide inspectors that are full-time in the village for fire inspections. Firefighter paramedic Peter Jamosevich, who brings experience from Albuquerque Fire Department. He retired as a battalion chief. Firefighter EMT Intermediate Arthur Garcia, who retired from Albuquerque Fire Department, is now full-time with us. Firefighter EMT Basic Michael Burkalt, who retired from Albuquerque Fire Department and is full-time with us. And last but not least, Firefighter EMT Basic and local Tim Bertucci is on with us full-time. These additions bring each shift to 3 full-time EMS firefighter personnel, supported by PRN staff, giving us the strongest operational staffing levels in department history. And much of that because of your dedication to public safety, so thank you. A medical director update, Michael Rossi, Dr. Rossi completed the medical director's course. This will help strengthen the coordination with the Moreno Valley Urgent Care, as well as the resort and ski patrol and EMS operations. Separately, he obtained a certification to conduct DOT health screens, so whenever we have physicals that we have to have DOT health screens, we can do it locally here at the clinic, and we don't have to travel to Raton or Albuquerque or Santa Fe to get those done, so we're very grateful for that. Public Works recognition, as you've seen all the dirt work going on around here, I want to acknowledge Public Works for their outstanding preparation of the Fire Station 1 site. They over-excavated and replaced hundreds of cubic yards of material with engineered fill that meets the architects and engineers' specifications. I want to give special thanks to Jesus Meraz, Theodore Maez, Oscar Padilla, Joshua Candelaria, Benito Jaramillo, and Director Kurt Epler. Thank you for all your efforts. Their work likely saved the village several $100,000 in the station preparation. We did our first original cost estimation, and the numbers that we got back were ridiculous. And Kurt and his crew stepped in and saved the village a bunch of money, so again, thank you. Balloons over Angel Fire planning, we've had multiple meetings along those regards, and everything is going smoothly. We're looking forward to a successful Balloons over Angel Fire event for Father's Day weekend. Fire Station 1 construction, progress so far. Recently we have submitted for CID permits. Franken Construction submitted for those permits. Construction surveying will lay out the building perimeter again this week. Manager Weir and I will travel to Houston this week to evaluate the pre-engineered metal building kit and evaluate for substantial completion, and that will be delivered the following week to the site. Franken Construction is also planning on mobilizing within the next couple of weeks, so don't be surprised when you see a bunch of fencing material and stuff going around. Their major staging area is gonna be just to the west, just to the east of the fire station site. Any questions on any of that? Lastly, I want to close with the EMS agreement with Eagle Nest. Some developments there. After Eagle Nest publicly stated that they no longer required Angel Fire's EMS support, we nonetheless submitted a zero-cost cooperative EMS agreement to the village of Eagle Nest. Our offer is contingent on Eagle Nest meeting New Mexico Department of Health EMS standards and sharing scheduling and call volume data with us. Our goal is to maintain regional EMS readiness while ensuring transparency and compliance. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Is our police chief with us this evening?
I'm standing in for him.
Lieutenant Strickland?
Mayor, Councilman, Clerk Strickland, Manager Weir. We had a pretty successful month of April. We had 138 total calls for service, which ended up with 54 incident reports, 2 crash reports, 2 arrests, 27 citations, and then 0 non-traffic citations, lining up to about what we had last year as far as our call volume. We did receive $2,658 in court collections for the month of April. Officer Hott did resign. My understanding, he has now moved to Oklahoma, or is in the process of applying out there. Officer May did a complete mid-management training course, and Officer Sanchez attended a missing persons human trafficking training course. So that pretty much sums up our month. Been somewhat busy, a lot of changes. We did have an interview, we held interviews for the open position that we have, and we have selected a Carlos Reyes Cortez. He was a deputy in Moore. He's accepted the job, so we expect him June 1st, I believe. I stand for any questions.
Lieutenant Strickland, do you have any idea what the monthly volume of traffic is through town?
No, sir. I believe that is a possible thing that we can get through the flock cameras. They do calculate it, but I believe it's an extra expense that we have not paid for.
Well, I'm looking at 27 traffic citations, which seems like a very small number for the amount of traffic that goes through here. So our people passing through must be doing a good job.
Point taken. Sir. Any other questions?
Thank you. I would just add, that we have, our chief, Jerry Hogriff, in our thoughts and prayers. He's mourning the loss of the Taos County Sheriff's deputy that lost his life over the weekend in the line of duty. Obviously his family as well, but he was a hire and trainee of Chief Hogriff when he was Taos County Sheriff, so it was a big loss to him, so please keep that in mind. Next up this evening is our Public Works Director, Kurt Ebler.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, Clerk Strickland, Manager Weir. Been a while since I've done an update. Before I get started, I'd like to announce that our road infrastructure committee meeting is, next one is scheduled for June 8th at 3 o'clock. We seem to have a really good committee put together with some good minds, good knowledge, good participation. Sure would like to see more participation from the community. As dare I say, we have yet to have a single person show up for a meeting with this committee. So anybody feel free to come in and see what we're discussing, and like to get more involvement in it from the community. So again, June 8th at 3 p.m. I'm going to start off with Streets Department. As Chief Hogriff mentioned, we just completed the over-excavation work for the new Fire Station 1. Things went real well on it, a few challenges with weather, but all in all, things went real well. I was very, very proud of the guys and how they performed, given that most of them had never done that type of work or project before. I think it was a great learning opportunity for them as well. I was happy to see that we were still able, with a limited number of people, still able to keep up with some of the basic road maintenance needs. And I was out quite a bit today, and as you know, after any busy weekend, we've got a few challenges out there, but really proud of how well the guys been taking care of the roads and while doing that project. We do intend to resume changing out street signs starting tomorrow, and we'll also, weather permitting, resume work on workforce housing infrastructure, starting off with completing the mass grading on the remaining of the project, and working towards getting the next 7 homes in as quick as we can. Any questions in regards to streets? Water Department, in the last 2 weeks, have replaced 4 fire hydrants. One was a significant leak. I had discussed it earlier, as there was a leak discovered through our Astera satellite technology that we thought we had it addressed by replacing a seal on a fire hydrant, and later found that a bell connection from the main line to the hydrant was leaking, so we replaced that section of line and the hydrant that was next to Highway 434. The leak was very significant. In the last 2 weeks, we installed 8 new water meters for new construction, and staying on top of those pretty well. Plus have addressed multiple small leaks on the way. 2 existing right now. The locates were called in. We're going to start the work today, but we got some rain, and beautiful rain. On the new meter install project, Utility Metering Solutions, which is the company hired by Sustainability Partners as the contractor to do installs, currently has 25 meter cams replaced. And also in the process of reconciling the list and giving them a clear picture of what they had in front of them, we discovered that there were 59 meters that were on the list that over the course of the last couple of years our crews have already installed. One example of a situation where we would install a new meter is if we were putting a new meter in and an old one existed right next to it, well, we had it dug up, we just put a new one in. And this also included a few that were leaking, that were discovered to be the old style meter that we dug up and put a new one. So we've got that list reconciled, and what we will be doing out of these that were already completed off of Sustainability's partner original list, out of the 250 that were remaining that we were gonna do in-house, we will assign some of those, so their contract will remain at the 204 they have remaining. Any questions on that in particular? Okay. When the work started on the wastewater treatment plant, they put a temporary bulk septage receiving point just off of Flamingo Road, a very rudimentary temporary facility that even though the wastewater treatment plant can accept bulk septage, it's not ideal for larger trucks, namely the big truck that Bob's Yard has. So they've been using it. We need to retrofit a couple of things at the headworks on Camino Grande, and we're waiting on one more part to be able to do that. And it was reported to me this afternoon that we should have that part within a week. And we'll be able to eliminate that temporary facility, which I know is a concern for the resort as well. We did last week, I'm sure many people are aware, Kit Carson had some power issues they were dealing with, and through this weekend. I can report that there were some challenges with the water system, but we didn't have any outages or any real problems related to it. And it should be noted that the communication with us and Kit Carson was excellent in regards to the problems that they were having and keeping us up to date. They were, they had to make a couple of moves that they knew might affect a certain aspect of our water system, and they communicated very well with us. Any questions about water? Okay. And solid waste, the everlasting saga of the scales. Scales are functioning, everything was in place. Apparently the intercom system that they tried to utilize the first time was not compatible or not working right. I was told today that they have the one that should work and it's tested, and they should be installing it Monday, which should have us ready to get started with our training and hopefully have that on track to be available to the public here pretty soon. And they said they will have it ready on Monday, so we shall see. For solid waste, the fencing project at the recycling park on Halo Pines Road, Tri-West fencing is scheduled to start on the 15th of June, installing the fence. The water department and the streets departments have done the initial groundwork. We cleaned up a bunch of yard space, and Theodore Mays from the streets department went in and spread the base course and built it up to the profile we want. And Tri-West works pretty quick, so we'll hope to see that fence go up pretty quick and do the expansion on that yard. The last thing to report with solid waste is we have changed the location for the bulk water transactions over to solid waste, as they have a point of sale right there. and we can do the transactions in real time as they happen. One thing that motivated us to do that is our method that we were using before, we were just missing some stuff, some billing and stuff. There were two bulk water accounts that we had for construction water. And once we reconciled them, it looks like we'll be able to recover $40,000 that we would have missed otherwise. And the owners of the bulk water accounts are cooperating, and it's just a much more streamlined. You know, they can go up and the public, anybody that wants bulk water can pay for bulk water there with a credit card. So it's working out real good. Any questions for solid waste?
On the bulk, oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna ask, the new section at the recycle park, is it gonna be concrete or just base course?
The hope is to pave it and also pave the current unpaved section on the west side of the park.
Okay.
And Mr. Gully is in the process of trying to get a quote for the paving. But that's the intention, to get it all paved in. There are 3 lights that exist on the north side of the park right now that are gonna need to be relocated out to the edge, and that's the intention.
Okay.
We won't be going with an automatic remote control gate. One, due to cost, and the other, my worry that it would be a maintenance nightmare in the winter. So.
Thanks.
On the bulk water sales, does any portion of that money go towards acquiring water rights?
It goes into joint utility.
Maintenance department, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but they've been working hard on painting all of our water system booster stations. They're looking pretty nice, brown with white trim, and I think they have 1 or 2 left. Last time I spoke with Mino, and weather is the only thing that has kept them from being completed. In fact, I think they're down to 1. The other thing that maintenance has done, any of y'all went up Bill Burgess Boulevard last Thursday, it was an army of guys up there. And working on the median on Bill Burgess Boulevard, planting some new plants, watering system is all in place. Actually had all the guys from the streets department jump in and help. It was just perfect timing. I also took the opportunity to trim a lot of the trees along Bill Burgess Boulevard. And you'll notice if you come out of Vale Avenue by Mountain Spirits with the intention of turning out onto the road, some of those spruce trees are trimmed. You can actually see the traffic coming from up above now, from 5 Springs Road. Now with that, I stand for any questions.
Manager Weir?
Mayor, Council, Director Epler did talk about the work that his crew did on the beautification process, not only of the median, but of the buildings throughout the village that are owned by. And I just want to give special recognition. That was kind of something we had to pull together at the last minute for some reasons that I'm not going to get into here. But I just want to really commend those guys for hearing about a need the village had. Nobody complained. They just said, okay, tell me what to do. They all jumped in and got it done. It was really something that deserves acknowledgement, in my opinion.
Well, thank you, Manager Weir, and you know, Ms. Thea Maestas, who works in our maintenance department, does our custodial service, and does admin work and stuff like that. We've kind of made her the champion of the project, and it was quite a big undertaking, and you know, to get some salty old road guys to just jump in and pull weeds and do plants enthusiastically. I've got to say, it might sound corny, but I told Manager Weir Friday that Thursday is one of the best days I've had on this job since I took this position, just because the way they all work together. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I also got a lot of good comments from the community on all the new flags that were put up for Memorial Day. Thank you so much.
Yes, and that also, that was the maintenance department, Mr. Guillermino Romero, Alex Martinez, Vincent Leach, and Jamar Rutherford. All four of those guys jumped on it and looked good.
Thank you, Director. Finally, this evening, we have our airport director, Jeff Miller.
Mayor, council, village clerk, manager Weir. I think I promised you last time I was gonna do a real long one, because I did such a long one, but I'm so sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Gonna go pretty quick tonight. A lot of good things happening. If you have not been out to the airport in the last 3 days, you need to go out. The superstructure for the door is all up. The door is actually hung. They're getting ready to put the straps on it. The electrical will come up. What we're waiting on, unfortunately, is gonna be the outside metal panels. Chris, are those panels there yet, or just the insulation? So we're getting in the meeting saying the exterior panels, meaning those that surround the door, might be up to 3 weeks before we see those, but I believe the panels for the door itself, if not en route, will be here pretty quick. So that's really exciting to see. The concrete has been poured for the containment pad, waiting on concrete for the uprights for the cover for the fuel station. So all of that work is done. Bixby Electric, except for a little bit of work on the new PAPI, the Precision Approach lighting system. They're done. I was talking this morning with the engineer. They will also, for those of you who are interested in see the lights on at the airport 24/7, they're gonna repair those big exterior lights and get new sensors on those before they depart. And then that'll bring us to the beacon. And we're still going round and around, no pun intended, about getting shields on that. Currently, the lights are pointed in the highest direction angle that they can be. So that still will cause some bleed over into the community because of the height of the tower. So I was promised this morning, they're gonna go back, look at that, figure out how to get the shield up there. May not happen before we turn the light on, but just want to assure the community that we haven't forgot about that. We're gonna do everything we can to mitigate that. From that to fuel, hey, we've got 100 low lead in service. People are buying gas. We got that this last Monday. The most fun part of this week is Chris managed to empty the Jet A tank. So we seriously 2,000 gallons plus of Jet A fuel in a week. It's just burning through the fuel. Again, no pun intended, but it's been a very, very good, profitable week at the airport on one of our main components, profitability in fuel sales. Means we have to order more gas, but that's not a bad thing when it's selling it and not having to give it away. Last thing is sponsorship. We're still in communication with the FAA. We're not gaining any traction right now with the airport district office, so we've made some inroads at Washington level. We're gonna see how that fruit comes about and whether or not that will begin to maybe shake this glacier loose and get this completed. In the meantime, Manager Weir and I are working with our legal counsel on drafting the deed change with the lawyers. So when the time comes, we'll have that in place and have that at least looked at and some sort of a tacit approval from the county so we can move ahead very quickly with the transfer. So again, I wish I could give you a date. We're 4 weeks out, but I can't at this point because it's federal government, and so it's always hurry up and wait. But you all will be the first to know when that approval comes through. So, you may stand for any questions.
Thank you, Director. We do have a committee report. Santos Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Manager Weir, Clerk Strickland. Really quick, the Night Skies Committee met today to forward some amendments to the Night Sky Ordinance for consideration Thursday with the Planning and Zoning Committee. So P&Z is going to be looking over the last round of conversations, and just to highlight some of those items. Previously in the ordinance, there was a time limit where you had to bring your lights into compliance with the new standards. That now has, or you could just turn them off at 10 o'clock, and you don't have to worry about bringing them into compliance. There was a standard of 2,000 lumens or kelvins for your lights. Further conversation with the Dark Sky Committee said it's really 2,700. Oh, okay, so there are some revisions that we also want to incorporate from the resort that we formally received today to make sure some of the activities on the mountain for like night skiing and maintenance that they need to do are exempt with some of the other items for public safety, that's incorporated into the ordinance too. So I do want to just highlight some of those elements that we'll be discussing on Thursday with P&Z for consideration, and hopefully bring an ordinance back to you for consideration. Lastly, you have updated copies. You now have draft chapters for an executive summary. And within the executive summary, there's a recommendation of members of the Comprehensive Plan Committee. There's a matrix for each chapter, goes over all the goals. And within the matrix, it's what is the strategy. The middle column will be who's responsible for it, the action agent, whether that's a department head or department itself or committee. And then a timeline for completion and the short-term, mid-term, or long-term goal, 1 to 3 years, 4 to 7 years, anything over 7, to be completed in this matrix. And so rather than putting a matrix at the end of each chapter, you have to go to the chapter to find out, putting this all up front at the executive summary should be a better way to capture chapter strategies moving forward. Just again to highlight, in the executive summary, Angel Fire has a lot of active working committees, and that's acknowledged again with some of the achievements that they've been able to produce over the last 18 months. With the Parks and Trails Committee, you have, I call it $100,000 rather than $99,999 for the design of the Frank Young Trail. The Wetland Conservation Committee, $100,000 for bank improvements and the eradication of Canada thistle and Senegia Creek and portions of it. Firewise, Fire Adaptive Committee working with the Cimarron Watershed Alliance, $10 million to work on perimeter buffering around the village and thinning out evacuation routes. You have a lot of engaged members across the board that I think needs to be highlighted up front in addition to their respective chapters. And so that's evident. It's lengthy, but this is the reason why, is that every chapter, because it's a landscape, I put a tab on the end, so if you're looking for transportation, what is that? So to highlight, you've got the history of Angel Fire, community profile, housing, economic development, tourism. We've combined transportation to cover transportation, roads, and the airport, rather than 3 distinct chapters. Public utilities with water, wastewater, and solid waste, recreation and trails, and then quality of life includes the police department, fire department, night sky, and water quality, which is the work that the Wetlands Committee has been working on. The last chapters that you have, recreation and trails, again, I think one of the biggest difference from previous plans is to really identify all the stakeholders within the village, not just what's managed by the village. And so in the recreation trails, you have acknowledgements of the recreational amenities from the resort, whether it's on the mountain or the golf course or the lake and the trail system. You also have acknowledgement of the Girl Scouts, the Parker campgrounds. You have the work that the committee's been working on for Allen Fields, highlighted in this updated chapter. And finally, working with Chief Holgriff, Chief Vance, on the goals and objectives of the police department, fire department. The Night Skies Committee has reviewed the narrative for their section of that chapter. And Watershed, the Wetlands Committee, we're waiting on comments from them. But again, you have an extensive amount of information across various departments and activities in the village to highlight, and that they're all in draft form. I know that there was a conversation with Senator Campos, hoping to see at least where the drafts are, and so that's all been forwarded to the manager and to Rocky to forward to the senator as well. There's a lot of great ideas, a lot of great strategies across the board. Some of the, to acknowledge and quality of life, the construction of a dispatch center in Angel Fire for the police and fire department to utilize. Having the amount of space for the police department to actually provide all services that the code calls for them to provide, whether it's animal shelter and animal services. There's no staffing for that because there's no room for that. The dispatch facility to be shared, the fire department and their acknowledgement for just making sure that we've got all the right apparatus, we've got all the right equipment to expand water rescue, mountain trail rescue, special hazards that might occur at the airport. Just some basic acknowledgements that I believe need to be in the plan regardless if we are already at capacity. We want to make sure it's maintained 5 years down the road. Parks and Trails Committee, there's a lot with the Frank Young Trail, and there's another conversation going on about a plan for Allen Fields. But additional highlights is to actually have a trail go from Mountain View Plaza to Allen Fields, connecting to the high school, connecting to the community center, looking at the easement of Apache Pass, that utility easement of possibility to provide access on that side, providing access for walkability from the RV resort to Allen Fields to then get connected to Mountain View Plaza. In our transportation chapter, we talked about sidewalks and the need to enhance, whether it's a visual sign of crossings to make sure pedestrians and cyclists can get across 434 North Angel Fire Road safely. There's a lot of great ideas across the board, and we're going to be talking about this on Thursday with P&Z to go through all the chapters as well, to make sure no one feels overwhelmed. I know we've been presenting pieces of this to you as a council, but now that all these draft chapters are, most of these have already received comments, but we want to still get feedback that needed. I believe I gave you the housing chapter previously. I have extra copies if, I just couldn't remember what I put in your notebook the last time. But that's what I presented for you in your consideration with these drafts. Did you want to add anything?
No.
Noted.
Santos, you'd given council 6 chapters previously, and you said you were giving us 3 more, but you may have consolidated some of that now.
I did, and I think some of the conversations where some of these chapters seemed more in line to be grouped together, like transportation, economic development and tourism, because there's a lot of overlap and strategies amongst the two. So yes, overall there's I think 14 sections. Some of those have been combined, but I still think it's a very strong document from where we've started, considering all the lag of time since the last update, and acknowledging, you have a very active group of members on the Comprehensive Plan Committee, but that's universal across all of your committees, which really makes this a different experience of managing feedback and putting it together.
And Mayor and Council, Santos and I have agreed to commit to the final draft being in the second meeting in the month of June.
This is a huge hurdle to get to that point, so now it's a matter of refining and fine-tuning, and I think we could do that pretty realistically. And now that I'm going to be here twice a week too, I can put the phones on mute and get to work. Thank you.
Very much, Santos. Moving on to new business. Item A, I'd like to open discussion to approve SCB recipient grant agreement for FEMA 4652-DR-NM wildfire straight line winds and CFDA 97.036 Public Assistance Grant Program. Explain.
That's a mouthful, huh?
It is.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, Council, Administrator Weir, and Clerk Strickland. Before you have a grant agreement, it's a sub-recipient. The major recipient is New Mexico Department of Homeland Security, so we're a sub-recipient of them. FEMA granted money to the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security. The previous administration declined this grant agreement because at the time they wanted us to put up 25% of the cost of road repair. This road repair, there is a map. It goes from Los Alamos Road up to where they were logging and decking logs. So it's up at Los Alamos, right by the Aspen tanks. And that boundary is Carson National Forest. So they would go up our village road, which is basically a water tank service road, and then they would deck the logs there, and they would use the logging trucks come down there and go to the Elliott Barker staging area also. So when they did this, this logging operation that they were doing, they, heavy trucks were using this road, and there was some damage to the road, damage to the culvert, and FEMA in their infinite wisdom sent like 5 engineers out here to engineer this road. Well, we're not making a super highway, it's just a service road. I thought that our previous roads director, Richard Cordova, and the crew had already done the repairs to the road. Come to find out they didn't, which is good for me because I don't have to do forensic accounting for this. So this is a reimbursement grant. It is through the village that we will be scheduled to do these repairs. It is on a federal timeline. I believe it's a little over $300-something thousand. Once again, this is that they have allotted to us to spend up to that amount. Now, because they're getting to the end of their grant cycle, FEMA and New Mexico Department of Homeland Security are going to give us 100% reimbursement instead of just the portion at the 75%. So I'm asking for approval to enter into this grant agreement with the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security to go forward. Once again, this is a reimbursement agreement. All costs associated with this road rehab, depending on what level of repair you want. I know that the previous administration left that road in disrepair to kind of act as a deterrent for public to use it going up to the Carson National Forest, which does have a fence line there. So they didn't repair it to act as a deterrent, was my understanding. So the FEMA will, or Department of Homeland Security will reimburse for materials, labor, and equipment used. And it also, this is the total labor cost, so their hourly wage plus benefits. They also cover admin costs, so my costs going through these grant agreements and any time spent on this, anyone working with me, the director, the administrator, various finance folks, their costs are incurred in this also. So it's basically asking if approval of this grant agreement to enter into with New Mexico Department of Homeland Security and FEMA. Any questions?
I'm assuming, will we be self-performing the work, not contracting it out?
We will be self-performing the work.
Does Director Epler have any concerns or?
No, pretty familiar with it, it's pretty straightforward, but it's, it'll be good to get the work done, cause, we'll also need to repair that road for the new communication tower we're hoping to put in up there. So, timing couldn't be better.
Is that dollar amount sufficient?
Yes.
And also, this is a federal timeline, so their fiscal year isn't the same as ours. So we can start work in August, September.
Very good.
Any other questions?
Questions or comments? Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Make a motion on item A to approve sub-grant recipient agreement for FEMA 4652-DR-NM wildfire and straight line winds and CFDA 97.036 public assistance grant program.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item A. Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Aye.
Counselor Howell.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks.
Aye.
And Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Item B, I'd like to open discussion to approve the appointment of John Ross as a voting member to the Firewise Committee. Pretty much.
You can call Chief Vance if you want.
Chief Vance, do you have anything you'd like to say on Mr. Ross's behalf?
Good evening. Again, no, I just support any community involvement with any of the committees that we have. We are a little bit short on members right now, so we welcome the community input.
Sounds great. Any questions or comments? I'd ask for a motion.
Make a motion on item B, approve appointment of John Ross as a voting member to the Firewise Committee.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item B. Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Aye.
Counselor Howell.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks.
Aye.
And Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item C, I'd like to open discussion to approve resolution 2026-36, various budget adjustment requests.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Manager, and Clerk. This is just, again, some more adjustments that we made to the budget. We have to keep, as we get revenues and we continue to spend, we have to keep the budget balanced here, and then we also have to submit it to the state and make sure that they're aware of it. So it requires council approval.
Questions or comments? I'd ask for a motion.
Make a motion on item C, approve resolution 2026-36, various budget adjustment requests.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item C. Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Aye.
Counselor Howell.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks.
Aye.
And Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item E, I'd like to open discussion to approve resolution 2026-40, economic development tax on Colfax County ballot.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, and Village Manager. So this resolution was brought before you guys last month. However, the county clerk called me and said we had to make a couple of corrections on it. It's going to be a general election, not a regular election. And also that date will be November 5th, not the 3rd. Nope, it'll be the 3rd, not the 5th. Okay, and then I stand for any questions.
Just general housekeeping, any questions or comments?
Yeah, and if you need me to reread the question, I can. That'll be proposed. Okay.
The corrections.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem, have you got the motion?
Make a motion on item E, approving resolution 2026-40, economic development tax on Colfax County ballot.
I'll second.
What date did we say?
November 3rd.
Is that still on?
3rd is correct.
I thought you
said 5th.
And then I re-corrected. So
November
it
3rd
it
is
is
the.
3rd.
That's correct.
But no, thank you very much for that. Okay. Roll call vote on item E. Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Aye.
Counselor Howell.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks.
Aye.
And Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item F, I'd like to open the discussion to approve using LEPF funds for Axon Taser contract for 5 years. Lieutenant Strickland.
Mayor, Council, Clerk Strickland, and Manager Weir. Currently, the tasers we have are extremely outdated. I believe the first time I was given an X2 taser was in 2014 when I first became an officer. So these aren't compatible really with a lot of the things that current Axon tasers do, especially with our software. We have access to what's called evidence.com, which then our cameras are attached to, and then if our tasers are also deployed, they're able to talk with the video on the software. That's kind of the new age of things, and so we're not getting the latest and greatest. It's the one under that. It's the Taser 7. It's a little bit cheaper, and because we have Axon cameras, I believe that's what you'll see is the total savings is $5,500 in savings. It is an estimated total of $31,260.09 with tax. So we're looking at over a 5-year term, we're looking at $6,252.02 per year. I did notice that the subjects at approval using LEPF funds for a 5-year contract, I believe that's just for the first year. is the $6,000. The rest of the years, I believe we're gonna use different funds, not the LEPF. LEPF currently, we're under a constriction where it has to be used, there's no carryover this year on LEPF, so we're trying to make sure that that's used or we lose it, so. But yeah, I stand for any questions as far as the contract or the use of the funds for tasers.
Do you have a current contract or any funds that you use with your current tasers?
No, sir, those were purchased outright, who knows how long ago. And there's no contract right now.
Well, the municipal league, I know they will throw some funds for the cameras, but if it's the same company that does the cameras and the tasers, can we?
I believe we asked about that, and I believe tasers are not part of the.
Not covered.
The coverage. We did ask, and there is currently a grant that we have Rocky looking at for tasers, so we may be able to get that funding back, I don't know, but, Rocky is looking into that grant for tasers. But, yep.
No further questions or discussion, and there's a motion.
Make a motion on item F, approve using LEPF funds for Axon Taser contract for 5 years.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item F. Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Aye.
Counselor Howe.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks.
Aye.
And Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Alright, item G, I'd like to open discussion to approve policy number FIN-001, Village of Angel Fire Internet Control Framework. Mr. Mellon.
Yes, good evening again. And this is actually gonna be for the first 9 documents that are in, so it's, so the way this works is, basically this is the village's official finance policy manual. And so it covers basically how the finance office handles public money, so things like how we reconcile the bank accounts, tracking fixed assets, managing budget, handling payroll, all that kind of stuff gets written up in this policy. The state had flagged several areas during our audit where processes needed to be formalized, and so that's what this is. This is the start of that. It's the direct response to the state's inquiries into it. And so it satisfied them. It's beyond that. It's also, this is kind of foundational to, this is the start of what's known as COSO, Internal Framework, and basically what that is, it's the blueprint for how a good finance operation inside of the village should work. And so it's a living document, and so these fins that you see, so right now we're again just fin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As we move forward and continue to look at processes, basically what these do is it shows us how to do our jobs the right way. And so as the village experiences growth, or as regulations change, or as we continue to find better ways to do work, this is us basically formalizing those processes. And so I'm asking for your approval because this framework does require the backing of the governing body.
I have a procedural question on our motion. It is for policy FIN 001, does that need to be amended? Are we doing more than just 001?
So our, Ms. Mayor, so our intent basically was to we're gonna bring you, each time we do a FIN, we're gonna bring it before you. So right now, all we have is 1 through 8, and those documents in themselves can change. But in addition to that, it could be that, well, it will be, that you can expect that later on there'll be a 10, there'll be an 11, there'll be a 12. And so for today, all we have is just the first 9. So.
Okay. Do we need to modify the motion or simply just add it in?
Well, is the first 9 encompass under 0001?
No, sir, there's actually a FIN 1, a FIN 2, a FIN 3, a FIN 4.
So through 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Jacob, if you'd like to make that motion.
I'll make a motion on item G, approve policy number FIN-001 through -009, Village of Angel Fire Internal Control Framework.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item G. Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Aye.
Counselor Howe.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks.
Aye.
And Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Finally, this evening is our manager's report, Manager Weir.
Mayor, council, myself, Mayor Lindsay, Councilman Howe, and Rocky Lira, met with Senator Pete Campos yesterday. We went through all the projects and priorities for the village and worked out a program for him to help us secure as much as possible in the upcoming legislative session. I thought it was a very good, approximately an hour-long conversation. And I think that the senator is excited to work with us and is excited about all the activity we have going on here. He did have about 5 deliverables. We've got him 4 of those already today and should have the final one to him tomorrow morning. So we will continue to work with him on legislative issues, and that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Nothing further, I'll adjourn this meeting.